From WWL-TV Channel 4, this is a Campaign 2008 Election Night Update.
All right, if you're just joining us on Channel 4, we have some projections to tell you about, some winners that we're projecting tonight. Let's look at the boards in the congressional district race in District 2. William Jefferson, we're projecting as the winner of this Democratic runoff over Helena Moreno.
In District 1, Steve Scalise, the incumbent, winning over Jim Harlan.
And in the district attorney's race, Leon Canizero we're projecting as the winner over Ralph Capitelli. And now we want to check in with Jefferson's election night headquarters with Lucy and Bill. Lucy?
Thank you, Dennis and Angela. It's interesting because the way that the room is situated, if you will, doesn't really allow for the spread of this news most of the time.
It's going slowly, but the buzz is beginning to go around.
The buzz is beginning to go around the room, but this is a crowd that really already had that confidence in the congressman, but they're still very excited.
But this is the toughest part because you don't know for sure.
There we go.
Now we're saying. They just put your information up from Channel 4 up on the screen, and that brought the applause. And well, come over. They are now cheering and standing up and applauding. Well, come over and stand up and tell us what this means. So they are having a very good time. But now we're going to go to Canizero headquarters.
All right, and of course we're here at Leon Canizero's campaign headquarters where, of course, the race has been called by Eyewitness News and Greg Rigermer, and a very excited crowd here.
Absolutely huge crowd here and very excited about the possibility of having Leon Canizero, their candidate, as the next district attorney of Orleans Parish. Now, Mr. Canizero has not yet arrived here at the Cultural Center. We're expecting him within moments, and of course, we'll try to bring that to you live as he makes a speech tonight. We can kind of expect to hear from him what he plans to do, when he plans to take off. Of course, we're still underneath an interim district attorney at this point, so it should be interesting to hear what he has to say tonight.
Absolutely, and of course, a lot of excitement here, and we will send it back to the studio.
All right, Scott and Katie, thank you much.
Clancy Dubose, already, night is young. We already have these announced. Any surprises?
No. The one surprise is that Canizero is winning really big. And I said about an hour ago I didn't think it was going to be that close because of the African-American vote that Canizero is getting. But if this holds up, I mean, 59%, almost 60%, he's getting 61% of the vote. This is a landslide. I talked to a source of mine in the Canizero campaign who told me about a half an hour ago he looks like Secretariat in the Belmont. You know, winning by 31 lengths.
Well, what about Scalise and Harlan? I mean, Scalise was expected to win probably, but by this much, I mean, he seems like he's way out front.
In a way, it's a little bit of a surprise, but not that much. I think we all saw the attacks by Harlan, and we thought that because Scalise didn't answer them spot for spot, that maybe Harlan was gaining some ground, but obviously Scalise kept his powder dry, saw some polls that had him comfortably ahead, and answered just as little as he could and won.
We thank you very much. We're going to go back to Channel 2 for more local election, but we'll now join CBS.
Long historic St. Charles Avenue is a world-renowned facility helping women diagnosed with breast cancer.
The difference at the Center for Restorative Breast Surgery is that attention to detail is number one.
Here, mastectomy patients receive the most advanced methods of breast reconstruction, performed in a soothing environment that promotes recovery.
Our surgical team has pioneered and perfected techniques that allow us to recreate and restore the beauty that breast cancer threatens.
Their caring staff provides pioneering reconstruction treatment for mastectomy patients worldwide.
Today, most patients are able to have the breast reconstructed at the time the breast tissue is removed.
The goal is to make women with breast cancer whole again.
We're committed to providing the best outcomes, and that philosophy has led us to develop techniques that protect strength and preserve beauty.
We're Louisiana made, Louisiana proud at the Center for Restorative Breast Surgery and Channel 4. Anchor Angela Hill on Channel 4's Eyewitness News. From WWL-TV Channel 4, this is a Campaign 2008 Election Night Update.
Welcome back to our local election night coverage on Channel 4.
Let's take a look at some of the races we've been watching for the last 2 hours. Beginning with U.S. Senate, Mary Landrieu, we have projected her the winner with 51% over John Kennedy, 47%.
And we're projecting winners in some other big races. Steve Scalise, we're projecting as re-elected in this race for Congress over Jim Harlan.
In District 2, William Jefferson winning over Helena Moreno.
And we just projected that a few minutes ago. That's a runoff. And now we have Leon Cannizzaro in the DA's race, projected winner for District Attorney of New Orleans. Now we want to go over to Mike Haas and Clancy Dubose. We want to go to Landrieu headquarters.
Right, Mary Landrieu headquarters, and see what's happening over there.
All right, thank you very much. When the video came up, the projection that Mary Landrieu was going to win this race,
the cheers went up.
The cheers went up. And although many people are surprised by the slimmer margin, a lot of people thought this would be a much wider margin, especially in this campaign.
And if you put that back up on this, there it goes again as the cheers go up in the room. A great jubilation here this evening. It does appear at this point that it's tight, but then this is a bigger margin than in past races that she's had.
Yes, it is. And depending on how many votes still come in and what precincts and what areas are still out, this vote could obviously change as the night goes on. There's still a lot of votes still left to be counted.
But right now, let's go back to the studio.
All right, Sally Ann and Eric. And we want to check in now with Mike and Clancy Dubose to look at some of the demographics behind this.
Exactly. Clancy's the one that called this race. So Clancy, let's take him through. There's our Senate overall, 84% in, 85% in.
She's got about 52,000 vote lead, which is 10,000 votes more than she won by in 2002. But here's why we're calling it for her. Let's look at Orleans first. She's got 83% of the vote. This is an even bigger margin percentage-wise than she did in her previous 2 elections in Orleans Parish. Now, in Jefferson Parish, this is a strong Republican base, and yet she's statistically, she's actually a little bit ahead. 4 years ago, when she beat Susie Terrell, she got 44% of the vote. Now she's got 49%. She's actually carrying Jefferson Parish with 71%. In St. Tammany, she got 32% of the vote 6 years ago and still won statewide. Now she's got 35%. St. Tammany, a huge Republican stronghold. She's coming out of the metro area, Orleans, Jefferson, St. Tammany, St. Bernard, with 57% of the vote. And then when you look at what we call the Cajun Triangle, all of the Acadian parishes, and here's what they look like. And it's called a triangle because you can see they light up almost on cue. They light up here with Lafayette in the center, a Republican stronghold, all of the others pretty much Democratic. Let's look at those numbers in the Cajun Triangle. And when you combine the Cajun Triangle with Metro New Orleans, you're talking about 2/3 of the vote. Now here's the Cajun Triangle with 87% of the vote. Landrieu winning with 52% to 45% with 36,000 votes. When you add that margin of 36,000 to the Metro New Orleans lead, there's no way that John Kennedy and the rest of the state can make up that lead. And here, she's 50,000 votes up with 85% in. And there's just no way Kennedy can catch her now. Mary Landrieu is going to win this race by a bigger total vote count than she won 6 years ago against Susie Terrell.
All right. We'll be back with more of our election coverage 2008, with including our 10 o'clock news after this.